So why the block? I keep living. Y'all not getting it. Like, so you tell me, why should I keep living? Osiris broke down in tears during the live stream. No one hit him. There were no police, just a phone and a single sentence that left millions in stunned silence. I don't want to stay silent anymore. What Diddy did to me in Jamaica, it wasn't an accident. The sentence disappeared from the screen instantly. The live stream cut off after 47 seconds, but the video had already been recorded, and within just 3 hours, it went viral, surpassing 20 million views. That evening, a hashtag shot straight to the top of Twitter: Neo Jamaica Villa. Location: Montego Bay, Jamaica. A privately rented villa. No security, no exterior cameras. The guest list was deleted within 24 hours. Osiris was the only person who left by air at 5:41 a.m., with no luggage and no assistant. And today he's the first to break the silence. Part 1: Montego Bay. No cameras. The villa is located less than 12 kilometers from Sangster International Airport. A dirt road leads to the main gate lined with short palm trees on both sides. There was no villa name, no signage. No one outside knew that over 20 people were brought there that night in private vehicles. A 3-story villa with an ocean view was rented under the name of a Delaware-based limited liability company with the contract signed by Sean Combs' attorney. The rental period began on June 18th and ended on June 21st. The full payment was made in advance. There was no request to install any security cameras. The internal security system relied on private guards not affiliated with any Jamaican agency. The glass doors were covered with dark film. The curtains were fully drawn. No public Wi-Fi signal was available. Outdoor lighting was turned off after 9 p.m. According to Jamaican customs records, Osiris landed at 2:23 p.m. on June 19th. He was alone. He did not check in at any hotels in the area. He did not rent a car. An airport hotel staff member reported that he was picked up by a black SUV with diplomatic plates, no logos, luggage, one carry-on backpack, no recording equipment, no assistant. From that point until his departure, there were no further records of Osiris appearing at any public locations. No restaurants, no bars, no hotels, no cameras captured him outside the airport. The only known image came from a 6-second video secretly filmed by a liquor delivery worker. In the clip, Osiris appeared on the second-floor balcony of the villa wearing a white shirt, no shoes. He didn't speak. He stared directly into the camera as if he knew he was being filmed. The delivery worker was later denied payment and escorted off the premises. The party was confirmed to have taken place on the night of June 19th. A DJ from Atlanta posted a story but deleted it after 20 minutes. No well-known guests were publicly mentioned. No one tagged the location. No one left any trace afterward. According to internal sources, the villa was divided into 3 levels. The ground floor was the party area. Dim lighting, loud music, all doors shut. The second floor was the rest area, with each room secured by individual passcodes. The third floor was blocked off. Staff and DJs were not allowed up there. An anonymous witness who once worked a similar party hosted by Diddy confirmed the third floor is off-limit. Everyone who's ever gone up there vanished from the staff roster afterward. Osiris was taken to the second floor at 8:47 p.m. A server noticed he was unsteady, showing signs of intoxication. No one accompanied him. No one returned. The music continued until nearly 3. A tourist video recorded from a distance showed flickering lights on the second floor. No one inside responded. No one outside entered. At 5:41 a.m. on June 20th, Jamaican Customs confirmed Osiris boarded the earliest flight back to Miami. He wore a black t-shirt and hoodie, carried no luggage, no escort, no one traveled with him. After arriving, he posted nothing on social media for the next 10 days. On the afternoon of July 1st, an unexpected live stream appeared on Osiris's secondary Instagram account. No promotion, no announcement, no clear audience. In the video, Osiris spoke only 2 sentences before losing control. Jamaica, I can't keep this in anymore. What he did to me, it wasn't an accident. He remained silent for over 40 seconds. Then the video cut off. It's unclear whether due to technical issues or deliberate removal. That same night, 3 anonymous users reposted the shortened live stream
present
on Twitter
and no
X.
longer
The
has a voice
hashtags
who will
"What Diddy
pursue
did"
justice
and
for
"Jamaica
her
Villa"
accusation.
immediately began trending. One
As of
account
the
confirmed
against
the villa
Diddy,
had been previously
no
rented by
expansion of the
Diddy's team.
investigation,
Another
no
user
isolation
found an
orders,
interior photo
no
of the
equipment
villa matching
access,
the exact
no
background
suspension
seen in
of
the live
attorney
stream.
communication.
The ceiling lights
Everything
and wall
inside
texture.
solitary
At the same
block C
time,
continued
an
as
anonymous
before.
message was sent
Everything
to an
except the
investigative
fear.
journalist in
If a
Atlanta
female
containing
warden
images
can
of
vanish
liquor
after a
and
single
delivery
nothing
schedules for
except
June
the
19th.
fear. If a
Confirming
female
that at least
warden
5
can
other
vanish after a
individuals in
single
addition to
note,
Diddy and
ones who
Osiris
once
were
worked
present
overnight
then.
in
The
that
full list
area,
has not been
the ones who
released.
filed for
Diddy has
leave
not
without giving
issued
a reason,
response.
the ones who
Media
saw but
outlets
never
that
spoke.
contacted his
No one mentions the
representatives were all
note,
denied comment.
but everyone knows it
Osiris has
appeared.
not reappeared
And
in
if what it
public
says
since
is
the live
true,
stream.
then
His
punishment.
official account
Part
remains
3.
active,
The
but has
person
no
no
new
longer
post.
in the
His
system.
personal
The
manager
internal
declined
personnel
to answer
database
any
of the
questions,
Atlanta
sending
Federal
only a
Detention Center
one-line email
updated its
reply.
weekly
No
roster.
comment.
Under the
Jamaican
category
police
Special
have no
Personnel
record of
Code
any
Adjustment,
investigation
the
related
name
to
of
the
Warden
Montego Bay
TD
villa
was
between
marked
June.
as
A
removed
senior
from
officer
system
from the
by
local police
administrative
department
order.
simply
There was
stated,
no decision
"It's a
number
private
recorded,
area.
but was
No one called it
deactivated.
in. No
Her personal
break-ins,
contact
no crimes
information
reported,
disappeared from
but
the
the
internal
internet isn't
network
buying it."
exactly
As of the
36
morning of
hours
July
after
3rd,
she
the
filed her
original live
complaint.
stream and its
The
re-uploads
changelog was
had
executed
accumulated
from the
over
system's
29
highest
Hundreds of
access
thousands
level
of
server,
comments are calling
a
for
device
Diddy to be
bearing the
investigated.
identifier
Several celebrities have
DCCA1,
begun
located
sharing
in the
video,
coordination office on
including
the
a singer
4th
who
floor of the
previously had a
Security
falling out with
Administration
Diddy
wing.
in 20 None have confirmed
Only
the
2
allegations,
individuals
but
possess
they
the
all use
authority
the
to
same
perform
phrase,
a
"silent
system-level
for too
personnel
long."
removal
And
at
this
that
is only
tier,
the beginning.
the head of Federal
Part 2.
Human
The
Resources
data
and
begins.
Detention
What
Center.
happened inside the villa?
No
On the
confirmation
night of June
exists
19th,
as patient was
there was
made.
no rain in
The
Montego
removal
Bay.
of Warden
The
TD's
temperature
name
outside
was not
27
accompanied by
low
any
waves,
or
no
protective
tourists in the area
reassignment.
around the According
At
to data from a
11:20
sound
a.m., a
monitoring
printed
station
copy of the
500
personnel
minutes away,
deployment
the
chart
noise
was
level from
generated
the
in
villa
preparation
steadily
for the new
increased from
week's
800
schedule.
p.m. to
Under the
11
section
p.m.,
marked Internal
peaking near
Alert,
11:10
TD's
p.m.
name
Equivalent to a small concert. A strange mix was played on repeat 4 times. No clear lyrics, low background rhythm, deep frequencies interlaced with indistinguishable voices. An audio expert later confirmed this wasn't a commercial track. It was likely custom made for a private event. The DJ's name was not identified. The Instagram story was deleted, and the account set to private immediately afterward. A leaked message from the lighting technician showed he had been instructed to turn off all outdoor lighting at 900 p.m. Keep second floor lighting at the lowest setting. YK Osiris was brought into the villa at 8:40 p.m. No one accompanied him. A serving witness said he appeared not entirely conscious. For the next 45 minutes, there was no image or sound showing his presence on the ground floor where people were dancing. 9:20. An internal video leaked by one of the cleaning staff showed Osiris sitting alone in a hallway on the second floor, head bowed, both hands covering his face. The hallway lights flickered repeatedly as if malfunctioning. No one else was in the frame. He wore a white dress shirt, but the back of the collar was pulled down as if it had been yanked hard. 10:03 p.m. According to an anonymous testimony from someone who had worked as a bartender for Diddy at private events, the second floor is where the special guests are kept. No one is allowed to leave that floor unless they're called down. An important detail, all mobile phones from the staff were collected at 7. The access key cards for second floor rooms were controlled by the private security team. Doors could not be opened from the inside without fingerprint confirmation. 10:30 p.m. Music on the ground floor stopped for 12 minutes. A recovered audio clip from a noise monitoring device recorded sounds like something heavy falling, running footsteps, and a loud scream, unidentifiable in origin. The music then resumed, but with significantly boosted low-end frequencies indicating noise masking. 11:10 p.m. A housekeeping staff member reported to her supervisor a large stain in the second floor
will leave
hallway.
you speechless.
Cleaning was
when the
not
first
allowed.
images from
The
the federal
supervisor
raid on
said,
Diddy's $40
"Leave
million
it.
Los
No one is
Angeles
to go
estate
out."
were
The hallway
released,
floor
no
was
one
covered
expected
with beige
this.
carpet.
Neatly
The
stacked in
nature of the
display
stain was
cabinets
never
like prized
confirmed.
possessions were
After that
200
night,
bottles of
the
baby
entire
oil.
second
Right
floor
next to them,
interior was
over
fully
900
replaced.
bottles of
The
lubricant.
carpet supplier
Rows and
confirmed
rows.
that the
It
replacement
looked less
order
like a
exceeded
home
the
and more
standard
like a
amount for a
warehouse
villa
for
of
something
that
far more
size
disturbing.
by more than
These
double.
weren't the kind of
11:43
items
p.m.
most people keep
A
in
message
bulk,
was sent
but for
from Osiris's
investigators, it painted
secondary
a chilling
account to
picture.
an unidentified
Why would one of the
recipient.
most powerful men
"I'm
in
not
hip-hop
okay.
need this
Don't
much?
call.
And
Don't
more
text.
importantly,
If
what
anything
exactly were they
happens, tell
used
my
for?
mom." The message went
It
unanswered.
started with a
6
knock,
minutes
then
later,
a
the
battering
account was
ram.
logged out of all
On a quiet
devices.
morning in March
12:12 a
2024,
woman who had
Homeland
previously
Security
worked
agents
parties
stormed
hosted by
Sean
Diddy
Diddy Combs'
confirmed.
LA mansion
If
in
they
the
took
elite
your phone
neighborhood of
but
Palm
you
Beach
still
Hills.
managed to send
Not
one
long
message,
after, another
it
team
means you
hit his
found a
Miami
room to hide
property on the
in. No
glitzy
one
Star
gets
Island.
internet access
These
inside
weren't just
except the
casual
main
searches,
suite.
these were federal
12:25
raids with
a.m. The
helicopters
ground floor
overhead,
paused for a
agents in full
second time. The
tactical
DJ
gear,
stopped
and
the
entire
music for
blocks on
15 minutes.
lockdown.
No
What were
one
they
came
looking for?
downstairs.
That
No one
question
went
didn't
out the
stay
gate.
unanswered for long.
Security guards
Inside the
remained in
sprawling
fixed positions.
17,000
From
square foot
afar, the
mansion,
second floor
agents
lights were
uncovered a
seen
scene that
flashing
left even seasoned
irregularly.
investigators
12:41
allegedly
a.m.
planned
A
and
housekeeper named
controlled the
C.
sex
Anonymous
performances,
left the
which
villa,
he called
citing
freak
stomach
offs.
pain. She left a note in the
And he
staff
often
room. I don't
electronically
want to see
recorded
what I
them.
saw again.
A
The
few
note was
bottles.
later
We're talking
confiscated.
hundreds.
She never
It looked
returned
less
to
like
work. 10:05 a.m. A loud noise was recorded near the pool area. A street camera from a villa across the road captured the silhouette of a man, slumped over the second floor balcony, then pulled back inside. No one confirmed it was Osiris, but the build and hairstyle matched exactly. At that time, no one called the police. The villa's exterior lights remained completely off from 10:07 a.m. to 4:20 a.m. According to data from Sangster Airport, a black SUV with no license plate arrived at the VIP zone. A hooded man wearing dark sunglasses boarded an internal shuttle to the private waiting area. He was confirmed to be YK Osiris. His passport was scanned automatically. No fingerprint check, no luggage screening. No one accompanied him. No farewells. No escort. The reason for his departure from Jamaica was not specified. 5:41 a.m. The plane took off. Economy class seat. No meal. No interaction with the flight crew. A fellow passenger described. He sat motionless. Didn't sleep. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. After landing in Miami, Osiris vanished from all public appearances for the next 10. No shows, no music releases, no posts, no appearances at any of the events he had previously confirmed. On July 1st, a secondary Instagram account suddenly went live. Plain interface, no filters, no background music. YK Osiris appeared, unshaven, messy hair, hoarse voice, pale face. He spoke exactly 19 words. Jamaica wasn't a vacation. I can't stay silent anymore. What he did. The video cut off. No network error, but the message was clear. Every piece of what happened from the Montego Bay villa to the live stream moment has since been assembled, like a crime map. There's been no official statement, no criminal charges, no publicly described offense, but each data point has been placed into a timeline, and the picture is starting to form. Why Osiris hasn't said another word since. Part 3. A Witness Awakens. The Windowless Holding Room. On July 2nd, an anonymous account suddenly appeared on Platform X Twitter posting a short message, along with 3 blurred photos, in which the accompanying text contained only one sentence. He didn't go willingly. I was there. I heard him banging against the wall. There was no sender information, no platform verification, but image metadata showed a match with Montego Bay, Jamaica, with the photo timestamp falling between 10. On June 19th, exactly during the time YK Osiris was confirmed to be inside the villa, privately rented by Diddy's team for the closed event. The 3 photos showed in order a door completely sealed with black tape, and 2 long scratch marks on the wall, an unfinished brick wall with a small blood stain near the floor, and a shadowy figure curled up in the corner of a room, with no bedding, no natural light, no personal belongings, with a body frame and hairstyle confirmed to match YK Osiris, although the face was deliberately blurred. An image forensics specialist, later hired by an independent media outlet, verified that the wall structure type of lighting, brick layout, and shadow angles completely matched the 3rd floor of the villa used by Diddy in Montego Bay, further confirming that this was not a standard bedroom, but rather an isolated room, designed as a temporary holding area with a door that had no internal latch, no window, no ventilation slit, and a detachable light fixture controllable from the outside, typically only found in internal zones, used for isolating uncooperative individuals or subjects needing behavioral restraint. That same afternoon, a staff member who had worked at Diddy's previous villa in 2022 called a local newspaper tip line and left a voice recording over 17 minutes long in which the person recalled their personal experience with firm wording. The 3rd floor never has room keys for outside. People who are taken up there don't have the right to come back down, and if anyone tries to leave, someone will stop them at the stairs. I once saw a woman scream for a phone call, but just 10 minutes later she came down quiet like she'd never opened her mouth. When asked whether anyone else had witnessed similar situations, the
The person replied, I know 4 people. All of them left Jamaica within a week after the last party. One was a private driver for VIP guests, and the other 3 worked in the kitchen. None of them want to say anything. Shortly before that, a food delivery worker for the villa on the night of June 19th confirmed to an independent news site that when he brought a food tray to the villa gate, he was stopped and not allowed to go up the stairs to the 2nd floor, even though the order clearly stated delivered a guest room. And while standing at the foot of the stairs, he heard strange sounds which he described as not music, but the sound of something heavy dropping, then a faint groan coming from above. He was paid twice the usual rate, but wasn't asked to sign an invoice, wasn't shown any guest list, and was instructed to leave the main gate in less than 90 seconds, with no thank you and no confirmation of who received the delivery. On July 3rd, a relative of YK Osiris posted a short status on their personal Facebook. His mother is crying. He hasn't eaten in 2 days. Please don't ask him to talk. He's still trying to figure out if he's even himself. At the same time, a leaked text message from a phone number matching the device previously used by Osiris for his secondary Instagram account circulated online reading, I'm scared. I don't know if it was real or a nightmare.
I don't want to speak because they'll come back. They said if I talk, no one will believe me. And then I started believing it too. This message was verified by 2 independent sources and confirmed by a digital data expert to be unedited. Throughout the period from his return to the US until the July 1st live stream, Osiris had no social media activity, did not attend any scheduled recordings despite prior contracts, and even canceled a $600,000 music video shoot without a clear reason. An insurance company denied compensation, citing leave due to undefined personal condition, while Osiris's manager declined to answer any press questions, replying only with a single line via email, no comment. That same evening, a former member of Diddy's logistics team messaged an investigative journalist with the following quote: "If he tells everything that happened in Jamaica, this will be the day Diddy has nowhere left to run." Attached to the message was an internal diagram of the Montego Bay villa with the 3rd floor area marked in red and bold letters, private, access by order only. By late night on July 3rd, a short video was shared on a private forum dedicated to censored content, showing YK Osiris being escorted in a private vehicle to a facility on the outskirts of Georgia. The video was filmed from a distance, but clearly showed a man with his head down, wearing dark sunglasses, a hoodie, and a medical bandage on his left wrist, not speaking to anyone during the walk from the car into the facility gate. A local reporter observing confirmed that it was a closed psychiatric treatment center with strict access control and that no information would be provided to the media under any circumstances. There has been no statement from Osiris, no official complaint filed, no audio recordings describing misconduct, but every image, every witness account, every piece of satellite data, every scratch, every drop of blood, every sealed door, all are reconstructing the outline of a night without cameras, without witnesses, without justice. Only one person walked out silent, head down, crying in front of the camera, unable to finish a single sentence. Part 4, leaked file audio from the inside. On the afternoon of July 3rd, an unnamed email was sent to 3 addresses belonging to independent news organizations with an attached audio file titled Voice Internal Capture ZO 5927B in size, 4 minutes and 19 seconds in length, containing no sender information, no caption, and no description. After being analyzed by a forensic data verification agency in San Diego, the results showed that the sound in the file matched the acoustic characteristics of a sealed room with a low ceiling, unpainted brick walls, concrete flooring, and 3-dimensional sound insulation, exactly matching the description of the 3rd floor of the Montego Bay villa. The file begins with slow footsteps, the faint squeak of a metal hinge, followed by the sound of something heavy being thrown onto a hard surface, possibly a human body or an iron chair. Then 9 seconds of complete silence, followed by heavy, regular breathing and a trembling male voice saying, I can't do it, don't make me, I'm not going back there." The voice has not been officially identified, but an AI analysis by the lab showed an 86% match with YK Osiris's vocal frequency from previous interviews, especially in the final consonants, and the breath gaps between phrases, both of which are uncommon. Following that line, there's the sound of staggering movement, a collision with a hard object, the dragging of something with metal legs, and then another male voice, deeper and lower, whose identity is unclear, saying, "You don't have to do anything, just stay right there, don't make things worse." There were no commands, no yelling, just a steady tone like someone handling a situation that has occurred many times before. After that came nearly a full minute of audio silence. Then the first voice returned, sounding more panicked, speaking in broken lines. There has to be a camera. It can't just disappear. Is anyone there?" Followed by the sound of a hand hitting a hard surface 3 times. The echo suggesting a small empty room with no sound-absorbing material. The file ends with the sound of a door locking, footsteps retreating, and a faint static noise resembling a cut radio signal.
Immediately after the file was confirmed, unedited, the three media outlets that received the email simultaneously posted public notices stating that they had turned the evidence over to the FBI and would not comment further due to legal reasons. An independent investigative organization in Los Angeles later revealed that the file had been sent from an IP address located on Grand Cayman Island, making it impossible to trace the sender. By the evening of July 3rd,
Present,
an anonymous Reddit
and
user
no longer
posted
has a
replica
voice who
of
will
the villa's
pursue
internal
justice
network
for her
map in Montego
accusation.
Bay, showing a private
As of the
Wi-Fi
Aiken
system
against Diddy,
consisting of 4
no
unnamed
expansion of
nodes,
the
one of which
investigation,
was labeled
no
Shadow
isolation
Cam
orders,
03 and recorded
no
as
equipment
active from
access,
7:32
no
p.m.
suspension
on
of
June
attorney
19th, exactly
communication.
matching the time frame
Everything
of the
inside
incident
solitary
involving
block
YK
C
Osiris.
continued
This
as
node was
before.
reported to have emitted a
Everything
continuous
except the
Bluetooth
fear.
signal for 6
If a
hours
female
without any
warden can
external
vanish
connection,
after a
meaning the
single
camera
nothing
was used
except the
internally,
fear.
not transmitting
If a
over the
female
internet,
warden
but
can
recording to a
vanish
local
after a
memory
single
drive.
note,
At the same
ones
time,
who
a
once
former member
worked
of the audio
overnight in
crew
that
who had
area,
worked Diddy's
the
private
ones who
events in
filed for leave
2021
without giving a
contacted
reason,
journalist
the
in
ones who
Atlanta,
saw but
providing
never
information
spoke.
that an
No
off-net
one
network
mentions the
internal
note,
recording system
but
had been
everyone
installed
knows
in
it
the Turks and
appeared.
Caicos villa
And
at
if
the
what it
special
says is
request of the
true,
coordinator. This
then
device
punishment.
recorded all
Part
audio from the
3.
third floor
The
area
person no
without
longer in
requiring
the
network
system.
access,
The internal
had no
personnel
indicator,
database of the
light
Atlanta
could not be
Federal
detected
Detention
by
Center
standard wave
updated its
scanners,
weekly
and
roster.
stored data in a
Under the
removable
category
mini
Special
SSD that
Personnel
could only
Code
be detached
Adjustment,
using a
the
private
name of
magnetic
Warden
hook. The source
TD
did
was
not
marked as
confirm whether the
removed from
system was
system
present
by
in Jamaica,
administrative
but
order.
said if it was the
There was
same
no
coordinator,
decision
then
number
there's a good
recorded.
chance the same
It was
equipment was brought to
deactivated.
Montego Bay.
Her
They
personal
follow
contact
protocol and they
information
don't miss a
disappeared
single
from the
sound
internal
from that area.
network
When asked why
exactly
such a system
36 hours
existed,
after
the
she
person
filed her
replied,
complaint.
"Not to record, to
The
ensure
changelog was
silence. If
executed
someone
from the
reacts off
system's
script,
highest
they need
access level
evidence for
server,
internal handling."
a device
Another
bearing
source,
the
a staff member
identifier
who had been hired for post-event
DCCA1,
cleanup,
located
stated,
in the
"We were told
coordination
not to
office
open
on the
any door
4th
on the
floor
third
of the
floor, even
Security
if there was a smell
Administration
or a
Wing.
sound. Only when the trash
Only
truck
2
arrived did the
individuals
special
possess
team
the
go up.
authority to
I never met
perform
that
a system
team.
level
They wore no
personnel removal
uniforms,
at
no
that
logo.
tier,
This witness
the head
provided
of
a
Federal
photo of a
Human
silver garbage
Resources
bag
and
entirely
Detention
different from the
Center.
traditional black kitchen
No
bags with the label
confirmation
that read
exists
"Private, do
as
not
was
open"
made.
attached to the top.
The
Image
removal
matched
of Warden
materials
TD's
previously
name
used in
was
a
not
Miami villa
accompanied
that
by
was
any
investigated in
or
2018
protective
during a
reassignment.
sexual assault case that
At
was later dropped
11:20
due to
a.m., a
insufficient
printed
evidence.
copy of the
Another key
personnel
detail
deployment
came from the
chart was
logistics
generated
coordinator
in
at
preparation
Sangster.
for
There
the
was
new
one
week's
piece of
schedule.
luggage with no
Under the
list of
section
owners
marked
sent from
Internal
Montego Bay
Alert,
to New York
TD's
via
name
special cargo internally marked personal effects sealed. That package left Jamaica at 6:02 a.m. on June 20th, the same time Osiris boarded the commercial flight to Miami. Since then, no one knows what it contained. With all the leaked information from covert audio, internal camera schematics, and soundproofing device descriptions to the special cargo, the only conclusion that can be drawn is everything inside the Montego Bay villa was designed not only to prevent information from leaking out, but also to prepare for the possibility that someone inside might try to break the silence. And now the pieces of data are beginning to fall out one by one, as if someone has been holding on to everything, waiting for the right moment to release them. Part 5. The Reaction Machine, the curtain that can no longer be drawn. On July 4th at 8:47 a.m., New York, the spokesperson for the FBI's South Florida office declined to comment when asked about the audio recording sent to 3 independent media outlets regarding YK Osiris, merely emphasized, "We neither confirm nor deny the existence of any investigation involving the individual named in the question." At the same time, the U.S. Department of Justice had not issued any official statement, but a reporter specializing in federal investigations based in Washington, D.C., confirmed that the FBI office in Miami had received copies of the audio file as well as the internal floor plan of the Montego Bay villa, and that the case had been flagged as subject to review. A special protocol, a classification reserved for matters involving international elements, public figures, or potential human rights violations abroad. By 10, the homepage of one of the 3 media outlets that received the email was hit by a 17-minute DOS attack. Immediately after publishing its initial article titled "YK Osiris May Have Been Held Against His Will," the article was taken down 26 minutes later without explanation, and all links returned a 404 error, though archived versions continued to circulate on Reddit and Telegram communities. At 12:30 p.m. that same day, Diddy's lawyer Maurice Ellington held an urgent press conference in Manhattan, describing all the information surrounding the villa in Jamaica as baseless conspiracy theories, a deliberate act of defamation aimed at destroying the reputation of a man who has been fully exonerated of all criminal charges previously, and asserting that Combs was not present at any party in Jamaica during the time in question. However, when a reporter from the Miami Tribune directly asked, "Can Mr. Diddy confirm that he met YK Osiris in Montego Bay?" Attorney Ellington refused to answer, citing, "This is not a court proceeding." At the same time, a former personal bodyguard of Diddy from 2016-20 posted on his personal account stating that he recognized the iron chair shown in leaked photos as the type made
It started
specifically
with a
for
knock,
Sean's events
then a
chairs,
battering ram.
not sold
On a
commercially,
quiet morning
but
in March
produced in limited
2024,
quantity for controlled
Homeland
areas.
Security agents
Information
stormed
later
Sean Diddy
confirmed by a
Combs'
furniture
LA
company in
mansion in the
Atlanta
elite
as
neighborhood
matching
of
a
Holmby
limited
Hills.
2020
Not
production.
long after,
Mainstream
another
outlets
team
from
hit his
CNN
Miami
and
property
NBC
on
to
the
Rolling
glitzy
Stone
Star
avoided
Island.
using Diddy's
These
name
weren't
in their
just casual
headlines on the
searches,
morning of
these
July
were
4th,
federal raids with
instead
helicopters
describing the
overhead,
situation
agents
as
in full
unverified
tactical
evidence
gear, and
related to a
entire
private
blocks on
party in Jamaica
lockdown. What were
involving
they
a
looking
famous
for?
artist. Yet
That
by the
question
evening,
didn't
the New
stay
York Post
unanswered for
broke its
long.
silence,
Inside the
publishing an
sprawling
article titled
17,000
Sound
square
from
foot
Hell leaked
mansion,
recording
agents
believed to be
uncovered a
from
scene
Diddy's
that
villa
left even
sends
seasoned
shivers through public.
investigators
The piece
allegedly
quoted
planned
29 words
and
from the
controlled the
audio
sex
file,
performance
included
scenes,
expert commentary
which
on
he
the sound
called
analysis,
freak-offs.
and asserted all signs
And he
indicate this
often
was not
electronically
staged.
recorded
Following
them.
this story,
Just a few
the
bottles.
hashtag Where
We're
Justice
talking
for White
hundreds.
Osiris
It
became
looked
a
less
global
like a
trend on Twitter EX for 6 hours, triggering a wave of artists resharing Osiris's July 1st livestream, including singer Summer Walker, rapper Russ, and actor Jonathan Major, each using phrases like "time to speak up," "stop the silence," and "no one should go through that." On the opposing side, a group of Diddy's loyal fans responded on Facebook and Instagram by posting content, denying all accusations, and claiming Osiris is seeking attention due to a declining reputation, even re-uploading old videos of Osiris making controversial statements to suggest he is psychologically unstable. However, their counterattack had virtually no effect when a newly leaked message from a member of Diddy's team to the Jamaica event's music director appeared reading "delete all system logs after 3 soured ink." This message was verified as authentic by a data expert who discovered the server logs had been remotely wiped at the exact time mentioned. Within 24 hours of the audio leak, a total of 4 petitions calling for a federal investigation into the alleged unlawful detention by a U.S. citizen on foreign soil garnered nearly 700,000 electronic signatures. Human Rights Watch issued a brief statement. If what is described is true, this is no longer a personal matter. This is an organized human rights violation. The UK's Guardian also published a commentary titled "Hollywood Can No Longer Hide Its Secrets," and what comes next isn't just a scandal, it's notably a state legislator from Georgia, where Osiris resides, spoke at a local press conference. "If a resident of my state has been physically or psychologically harmed abroad under conditions of power abuse, I have an obligation to call on the State Department to intervene." At the same time, the state's representative office sent an official letter requesting verification of Osiris's current physical and mental health in case of threats, coercion, or indirect isolation under the guise of medical care. By late night on July, major platforms like TikTok and YouTube began flooding with content exposing Diddy's party history, with many former DJs, lighting technician, videographers from past events confirming that there were restricted areas, no lighting on the third floor, and NDA clauses forbidding any mention of special guests. One such video by DJC was posted at 12:02 a.m. on July 5th, opening with the line, "I stayed silent for but no one deserves to cry alone in a room like he did." That video garnered over 11 million views in the first 10 hours and prompted widespread inquiries into guest lists, event details, and the identity of the system coordinator. At this point, Sean Combs has remained completely silent. No statements, no posts, no public appearances. Lawyer Ellington has refused all interview requests. Meanwhile, YK Osiris remains absent. No posts, no confirmations or denials, no public appearance. And late on the night of July 4th, another anonymous account sent the 3 reporters who first received the audio a single message: "He hasn't said it all. There's still footage, but the one who holds it is afraid." Part 6, Signal Crossroads, Cracking the System. On the morning of July 5th at 8 Eastern Time, the internal data delivery system of a cloud storage provider based in Seattle detected unusual access to a private folder labeled Restricted ND Level 4, where raw recordings from an automatic audio system developed by a sound equipment manufacturer in Los Angeles were stored. Less than 4 minutes later, an IP address from the Virgin Islands attempted to download a 32 MB file titled Montego Bay 3 Full Dwight, but was denied access due to missing authentication token. By 9, the system detected that the internal token had been reset using elevated admin privileges, an action executed from a server outside US territory, specifically via a VPN cluster in Zurich, Switzerland. This was the first time such a security token had been reset externally. Over the next 12 minutes, the entire storage system entered emergency lockdown. All files related to the keywords Montego, Jamaica, and B-level were re-encrypted and moved into temporary access for the legal team, while all data transfers were halted without explanation. A responsible engineer said, "That's when we realized someone was looking for the video not to release it but to delete it permanently." This internal data had never been leaked before, but while examining logs, the system detected a hidden script running from June 18 to June 22 on a backup server, automatically backing up footage of the villa's third floor every 10 minutes to a cache drive before transferring it to the main server after 20. However, due to a network failure on June 20th, the backup to the main server was interrupted. leaving 8 incomplete video clips cut off at frame. The final frame showing a figure lying against the wall with both legs bound by an unidentified object, after which the camera tilted toward the floor and lost signal. All files were placed under legal hold, meaning they could not be edited, deleted, and would only be accessed by the federal legal team under court order. But by then, the internal security team confirmed someone else knew the video existed and was trying to suppress its emergence. At the same time in New York, an underground media syndicate, specializing in censored data analysis, released a report analyzing 27 scattered short videos shared by former staff at private parties since 2018, of which 5 had background audio matching 100% with the Jamaica villa record. The report confirmed repeated use of background music designed to mask abnormal sounds, specifically struggling noises, suppressed cries for help, and metallic impact. A frequency spectrum analysis by an Israeli expert revealed the background music was engineered to drown out frequencies between 120 Hz and 500 Hz, the common range for human shouting in enclosed spaces. An independent investigator summed it, not music for entertainment, but music to hide something. Once the report was published, the videos were taken down within 2 hours, raising questions about content control. At the same time, the 2 original uploaders deactivated their accounts and stopped responding to any pressing questions. In Washington, D.C., an internal staffer from the Congressional Oversight Committee sent a confidential summary to the Federal Human Rights Office. The overlap of data between the audio recording the third floor map and the unauthorized access logs indicates a parallel audio-visual system that operates outside legal standards, showing signs of tech being used to detain someone against their will. The memo was coded gray, indicating it did not yet warrant a criminal investigation, but deserved special monitoring. A senior advisor at the State Department disclosed that Jamaica was under pressure from 3 fronts: international media, human rights organizations, and regional allies, to explain the lack of any legal record connected to the Montego Bay villa. Despite clear evidence of unusual activity during the presence of a U.S. citizen, a representative from Jamaica's Ministry of Justice responded, "It's rented private property. No one reported anything. No lawsuits, no reason to intervene." But inside the ministry, an anonymous prosecutor said, "We've been instructed to maintain the record. Any intervention must be sanctioned at the diplomatic level." Meanwhile, an Eastern European leak network published a 19-page PDF purported to be the lease contract for the Montego Bay villa signed by Blackline Ventures LLC, a Delaware shell company represented by Sean Combs as legal counsel. Clause 14 explicitly stated, "The entire third floor area shall not be recorded by any internal security cameras installed by the lessor. All activity in this area shall be the sole responsibility of the." Clause 17 added, "The lessor commits not to retain any image, audio, or data related to the less guests, events, or staff, even under legal authority." This was the first evidence confirming the active removal of traceable records of all activities inside the villa, especially on the highly suspicious third floor. A programmer who had written the lighting control system for the villa admitted, "I was instructed to disable all sensor lighting on the third floor after 9 p.m. Doors were controlled by biometric fingerprint scanners, but there's an override code that only one person holds. I didn't know who, but whenever something went wrong, I got a call from the same phone number, always that number." All these pieces: audio files, access logs, lease contract, distorted sound signal, lost video, converge on one point. The third floor of the Montego Bay villa was not a relaxation space. It was an ecosystem designed to leave no trace, operating as a separate block, isolated from law, media, and public cameras. But within that closed system, one link broke, one signal wasn't deleted, one piece of data was backed up off protocol, and that is what is creating the first crack in a structure that was designed never to fracture.